Welcome to our workshop. We're really excited to be here. It's Janice and me. It's the first time we've actually done something like mostly kosher since COVID. So we'll talk about that and what that's all about in a second. But also, let's start with just some music right off the top. I get to show you a really cool thing. What you don't know is that we found a way to hack the Zoom lag. If you know what I'm talking about, there's latency, but we're doing a fun setup. I'm going to do it. Why don't we set it up first and play for them and then make them have to guess what we did? Okay,
Okay. I don't
so
actually know what we did, so
I don't even, who knows what we're doing. Okay, but I'm going to mute myself here and I'm going to unmute myself there and
do
I'm
I
going to
need to
take my
do anything?
headphones on. You just need to play, girl, and play
Oh,
beautifully,
okay. Okay.
which I know you're going to do. So, well, let's not even announce this first song because everyone's going to know it, all right?
Okay.
Okay, give me 5 seconds. Take the headphones out because this is going to be killer. All right. Actually, I'm going to keep the headphones in because you're going to need the microphone that way. Here it comes. Just getting my pitch. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. To life, l'chaim, 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 to life. If you've been lucky, then Monday was no worse than Sunday was. Drink l'chaim to life, l'chaim, 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 to life. The day is nothing cake, next day is stomach ache. Drink l'chaim. I'm brave and have written words of wisdom to be used when a hardship must be faced. Life of life is a hardship, so the words of wisdom shouldn't go to waste. To us and our good fortune, be happy, be healthy, long life. And if our good fortune never comes, use to whatever comes. Drink l'chaim. Woo! To life, l'chaim, to life. Life has a way of confusing us, blessing and bruising us. Drink l'chaim to life. Woo! Okay, back to the other settings here. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if all went correctly, you should have been hearing us at the same time. And it's because we're doing a thing where I call my phone over here, see, into Janice on her end, and then she plays over what she listens to, and then we get to broadcast straight from her space all the way to Zoom, to the Zoom where it happens. Just so
I
that's
heard
normal.
most of what you were doing. I don't know how good our syncing was there, but
It's a fun experiment. I hope you guys enjoyed. That being said, welcome to our workshop. Thank you to Congregation B'nai Israel and other partners, I think CSP people communities here. Thank you for having us, come to your community and share, let us share with our community a little bit of what we do, because we're going to show you today, we're going to deconstruct how we deconstruct what it is that we do. That's how I've been thinking about this. Janice, we're going to go to our notes here. Janice, do you want to take it from here about like who we are for those that don't know us?
sure. Well, I guess we're going on 10 years now. Is that possible?
Woo!
Um, it's hard to believe. We've told this story before as far as how we got together. We're sort of an accidental klezmer group, klezmer hybrid group. I received a call once upon a time, around 2010, from Liav Sofer, who was all of 19 years old at the time.
That's me.
Yeah. And you want to tell the next part of the story, what happened because you were living it?
I'll keep it short, but long
Yes.
story short,
Yes.
was playing a gig. I was in college, played piano for a Jewish wedding. also was a clarinet major, told a young, wonderful woman who many of you from the Orange County community might even know who she was, because she says, "Oh, you play clarinet and you're Jewish," and I said, "Yeah," and then she said, "You must play klezmer," which I never did, but like every good budding musician, you white lie. And I said, "Of course I play klezmer," and then she said, "Ah, you must have a klezmer band," and I said, "Of course I have a klezmer band," and she said, "Perfect. I am head of the sisterhood here at Temple Beth Shalom in Santa Ana." And she said, "I am going to have this big gala next year, and we want your klezmer band to be the feature band." And I said, "Great, awesome." Long story short, we slapped a band together. We studied the art, just like everyone does in university. You find something that's inspiring to you and you study it. I knew Janice from my synagogue. She pulled in some mates. I pulled in some mates from university. And some were Jewish, some were not Jewish, but we all just decided we all loved learning new music, so we just jumped into it together.
And we
Um,
accidentally got some gig offers from that one gig that we thought might just be a one off. And
exactly.
then we thought, okay, now we're really in trouble. Now we really have to start knowing what we're doing and starting the process of scholarship and learning and exploring and finding mentorship. And we're kind of in the middle of it. I mean, it's lifelong, but it's been an exciting ride. And during the course of learning the traditional elements of it, to sort of skip very quickly to where we are sort of more present day, we've been finding ways to weave in other genres of music that, of course, other bands have also done, hybrid bands, but also finding what our own voice is, what kind of music stylings that we love to play, as well as the traditional Yiddish folk music and klezmer music, and that's what we're doing.
And that being said, we told each other we would talk about like what's happening now, since COVID hit. Because as you guys heard, like we haven't really been doing anything much public. We've been doing individually some stuff, but as a mostly kosher, things hit really hard. And we had a huge Northwest tour lined up. It was our first tour that was booked primarily through Performing Arts Center gigs, which is kind of like a feeling of breaking through for an artist when you're dependent on club gigs versus when you're having Performing Arts Centers calling you to fly you out and bring you into these bigger spaces. That's not just local. We played a lot of the local spaces. We love LA, but this was exciting for us. And then COVID, not only did COVID hit, but our tour was supposed to go to the Northwest, literally Seattle, and it was like supposed to leave on March 18th, 19th, right when things were locking, like Disneyland locked down on the 18th or 19th. That's my mark. I know when Disneyland locks down, it's for serious. So long story short is everything got either canceled or postponed, and it's been depressing in some ways, but there's been some silver linings. Do you want to talk about the things we've been working on in this, since we've closed down?
Sure. Well, one of the things that we've been doing is we've been working on a brand new family show, which is sort of an outgrowth of some of the educational outreach programming that really we've done from the start. We were able to sort of hone that element of what we do at places like the John Anson Ford and the Skirball, and so it's really exciting to be working on that element. And we're also working on some new recording projects that we're looking forward to bringing to you. In fact, we may have a little bit of a sneak peek, right, Liav, to some of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and so yeah, I guess now it's time to move forward into the music and what's going on there.
What are we doing next?
Um, what are we doing next? So we're going to talk about klezmer and the genres and the music, um, and how we've kind of found the traditional style of the music and then decided to put our spin on it. And in many ways, it's deconstructing. And I'll get a little bit in the nitty gritty for those that have some knowledge of music, and for those that don't, we'll keep the colloquial as well. But we definitely have fun with the arrangement sides. We get geeky on the musicianship side of some of the things we do, even when sometimes like we might even do something that only the band really knows is this reference here or something like that, and it doesn't. But those things are what make it fun for us. So we'll talk about those things and break them down. But the first thing is a Yiddish hora. Now, if you're Jewish and you're watching this, you must think that a hora is like Hava Nagila Hava Nagila Hava Nagila Venishna blah blah blah. So that is an Israeli hora, but the Yiddish hora is very different. A Yiddish hora is a beat that's in three, and it even had a name that translated to the crooked dance, the crooked tance, because of the way you dance it is like you've got a swing to it because it has a. So it's really a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's kind of an example of the feel of a Yiddish hora. So we're going to show you a song that's a traditional Yiddish hora called Disa Galech, which I've got to pull it up. And this song is was really made famous by the Klezmatics, right?
Everybody's played this one. This is a classic. But yes, I've heard the Klezmatics play it, and there's many wonderful versions of this song, and it's Little Boots.
By the way, Janice, we didn't talk about this beforehand. Which key do you have this version in?
Oh wait, I just stepped to my thing. Yeah, I think that's. But I can do it in the other key.
We could do it. I've got it in G minor. All right, you take it. You take it away because and then just do it a cappella because I've got a different key than you, and then we'll go from there. I'll sing a little bit, maybe a little bit later, one of the verses. But just listen to Janice play this melody. This is the melody and the feel of a Yiddish hora. And Janice, just go for a phrase or two.
Okay. And then there's the B section. Can't hear you.
Sorry about that.
That's
so
okay.
We'll just take. I was muted. We'll just take turns. So now my turn. I'm going to give you the same thing. I'll do it in a different key and give you a little bit of the words going on as well because it's really cute. The song is a beautiful love song. It's like I'll sell my boots and go with you on I'll sell my boots just to be with you. Like a handleless door, I'll sell the handle to my door and my sweet little bird. I'll sell handkerchiefs at the railroad station just to be with you, just to be with you. So it's a very sweet song if you haven't heard it before. So here's a little bit of the same song, but with the lyrics. Here it comes. Actually, if you want and you know it, sing along to this part. Janice, you might need to mute yourself just so that we don't have a latency here.
Oh, okay.
I got you. All right, we're good. Ya ba 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 la da 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 So here's the verses. Are you guys ready? Forke von dieser Poschkelech und vorn auf die Droschkelech abi mit dir in einem zu sein. Oi, ich und dir und du und mir wie klach mit Kir und a Tier at Ketzele Fegel mein. And then everybody sing this with me. Ya ba 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 da 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 ya ba 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 da 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 one more time, sing it, give it your best shot. La da 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 da. Yo ba 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 ya ba 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 ya ba 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 ba. So that gives you little samples of that song. Um, and what you should hopefully feel is it has that crooked sway to it. But what's also interesting about this style of music, it was done, most klezmer music is around Jewish celebrations, including a wedding, right? This one characteristically always went after the wedding, and it went specifically to the dance that the parents might dance to after they're, in a bittersweet way, dropping off the bride and groom, their children, at the new home, to finally spend their first night together as a new couple, and they're kind of sad, but they're happy, and so they drink their sorrow away, and they basically limp and their crooked dance back home. So that's a little bit of the spirit.
And the
Now,
wonderful thing about this is basically to do this dance, you just have to be able to join hands and be able to walk. And it's a dance that anyone can do. It's wonderful.
yeah, it's so fun.
So
So here's
do
what
you
we
want
did to it.
to move on to Ain't No Sunshine?
Yeah. Oh, you just gave it away.
Oh,
Here's how.
sorry.
Here's how we screwed with it. Here's how we deconstructed. So remember that feeling. That's the whole thing that we took, that we found. Let's play with that a little bit. And we played with the Yiddish horror a few different places and different times. But here, I'm going to share my videos. So as now you're probably all used to, with COVID-19, is we all try to talk, in order to stall while we're pulling up the things we have to pull up. And you don't know who's talking and who's stalling, and you don't know how long it's going to last. And he might keep talking if he actually found out he didn't even have it prepared like he was
We
supposed
can
to.
we can do a quick shout out to 24th Street Theater.
Oh,
And
yeah,
the
do
the
that.
whole staff and Jay and Debbie over at 24th Street Theater because they they're a wonderful theater, incredible in our theater community here in Los Angeles, and that was the
Hmm.
location of this video, and we're actually collaborating partners on our family show right now, which is really exciting.
Such a cool, yes. Also special shout out to all the people that helped on this music video and Andrew, who is our main character, one of the main characters in it. Now I've got it ready.
Okay.
It's gonna be on the YouTube, so here it comes. Three. Oops, I think I forgot to do share audio. Give me guys, thanks for your patience, everybody. Here it comes one more time. Three, two, one. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Wonder this time when she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. when she's gone. Two, three, four. I know, 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 I know. Hey, I'd leave your thing alone, 'cause ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Hey guys, thanks for watching that. I know that maybe some people on Facebook it might be a little laggy as they say. So just thank you guys for your patience. But that being said, we're gonna move forward. And Mary actually put I need a link for that. So that's a good point. If you don't haven't seen it before, you can go to our YouTube page. But also, we'll during a chance we can get, we'll post the link in the Zoom room here too, for those that are in the webinar Zoom. If you're someone that has thoughts, by the way, we don't have the Facebook post in front of us. So if you're commenting questions, we are going to do a Q&A at the end, and we'll see if we can pull up those questions off Facebook towards the end. And then obviously we'll have a chance to take questions here in the chat as well with Zoom. But to move forward now, so the next thing was that you could see how in the beginning we had that slow Yiddish Hora feel, right? We're going to show you another Yiddish Hora song it's a traditional song called Noch Gläser Wein. I'm going to just have Janice play it for you. And, and I want you to listen to the melody. Janice, maybe not only play it one time through, but maybe just even play that first melody a second time if you want, or just a little bit extra, so it can really go into their brains. Are you ready? Okay, hold on. Hold on. There we go. I just unmuted you, okay. And now I'm going to mute myself. That was great. Do one more time so they can really hear it. And everybody at home, see if you can hum along. Explore the range of your voice. See if you can feel it. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, that's I hope as you were singing along, if you were humming along, you felt like really, again, back to that crooked feeling. So that's melody though is something that you see what we did next is we actually uncrookified it. Is, so it's in three. Dum bum 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 bum. If you understand the tempos or time signatures in music. Or if you don't, you could just, I'll explain it like, it feels like a waltz kind of, right? And we change it to feel a little bit more like a a slow march that doesn't feel like it's in three. It now it feels in four. So we're gonna play you again another video. I know that the videos are a little choppy, but we're focusing also on the music. So listen to how what we've done with the music, and
We
shout
should
out
we
to
should all do. Yeah, you go. Shout out
no,
to the
you
choir.
shout out. You're good at the shout outs. You do the shout outs.
One of our wonderful friends and colleagues, and also voice teacher for you, right, Leah?
Yep,
Dr.
yep.
Stephen Kronauer, and the Artis Vocalis choir. We felt very fortunate to do this wonderful collaboration of our music with this choir. So here's a little clip of this.
Awesome. All right, let's close our videos and mute ourselves.
All dressed in red. Oh, must be the children that Moses led. The children all dressed in blue. Must be the children that's coming through. God's in the trouble water. God's in the trouble water. God's in the trouble water.
All right. There's more to that clip, which I noticed Gideon was posting our YouTube links for those things in the chat here. So I guess he'll post that one for you next if he can. And you can watch the whole thing. Um, Again, that was a fun shout out to my colleague Steve, my mentor and friend Stephen Kronauer and his choir, Artis Vocalis. And if you're looking for a choir to sing and you're in the LA area, go check them out. They're always recruiting singers and they do great pieces. So you might have noticed that Janice has tripled herself with two little clones. So I'll let you not only introduce them, but and four little clones. I'm just kidding. Not only introduce them, Janice, but maybe you could also introduce this piece you guys are about to play.
Sure, absolutely. As we're sort of getting set up here, I want to do a quick shout out to my personal tech support, my husband Gideon Markham, who's been helping me move stuff around here. And here we have Raina Markham and Cheska Markham, my two lovely daughters, who are also members of the Jewish Youth Orchestra that I direct and that Liav and I actually founded. And we are going to play Handel's Horror.
Special shout out because Raina also graduated today. Sorry, I just changed special shout out to Raina's graduation. Okay.
Yes, congratulations. So Harry Kandel was a wonderful band leader and klezmer musician, and he is responsible for this hora that we are about to play. And it also has that meter that you're starting to get used to and be familiar with, and it has some lovely harmonies. So you guys ready? We're just going to play a little bit of it here.
right.
Go.
As you guys can tell, they're very talented and very quick. They're going to be outdoing their mom's amazingness. I
Already
know.
are.
And Reina, where are you going to college next year?
Oh, she can't hear. That's
Oh,
right.
oh no, it's okay. Just ask her the question because we'll hear
Okay.
her.
So, where are you going to college next year?
I'm going to UCLA
For
for
what? To
music
tell.
education.
There we go. And also, Cheska is very talented as well. And Cheska goes to tell Cheska should say where she goes to school too.
And can you say where you go to school, Cheska?
Oh, I go to LA County High School for the Arts.
What? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so very artsy kids, and I feel very lucky to have them to play music with. It's one of the things that's been really challenging. Of course, so many musicians and collaborative artists have found this time challenging to not be, with their bandmates and with their fellow artists. So to have these fellow artists, my kids, to play chamber music with and to play all the different styles of music that we play is wonderful. So thank you guys, and I know you have other things going on, so I'll let you go to it. But hopefully we can play for you again in this setup again sometime soon.
Awesome. So I know that everybody was so focused on the incredible talented children there, which are no longer, they're young ladies now. But this whole melody is something I want you guys to actually take note of because, whoops. Anyways, that's what I want you guys to take note of what they just did, because we're kind of showing you how we got inspired by this piece. Not only that, but this piece was created by a Yiddish, not Yiddish, but a klezmer. Hold on, I'm going to just mute you for a second. This was a klezmer artist, Naftali Bradvine, who created this piece, and he was quite an intense figure and character. He also was, people thought that he might be having schizophrenia or some other things because he was unique and special. And when we wrote this song that was a reflection of this next piece, we actually decided that we're going to use that theme that's important to us, because Janice and I are both involved with different projects that focus either on social justice or mental health. And so we created words for this next song. It's a song called Go Away. And it's about, when you have maybe demons in your heads or the feeling of depression or whatever it might be that people are going through, sometimes you try to yell at them to go away. Or sometimes when we're suffering something, a mental health crisis that everyone in the world has probably been suffering because of COVID anyways, sometimes it's hard to ask for help, and the people that are reaching out their hand to help, you tell them to go away. And then sometimes you just get so fed up with it all, you just feel like going away, and that could mean going out on a retreat, or for some people it means on the edge of suicide. So we attribute this song to them, and Naftali's melody is worked into this piece. And final announcement, this will be also a song that's going to be actually in our next upcoming album that we've been working on. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'm going to pull it up here. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, it was queued up and then it went away. Our amazing engineer, Eva Reistad, had a big part in recording our album, our first album, and she helped record this too. So hope you guys enjoy. Here it comes.
Go away, 'cause I feel you just don't get it. My demons don't quite know you yet, but maybe if you held my hand, I'll go away, won't you leave me, and my voice is with me. You don't hear what they're saying to me, how they comfort me. We'll go far away. success in your eyes will go far away, away. I've waited too long today. I'll just go away. Go away, 'cause I feel you just don't get it, and my demons don't quite know you yet, but maybe if you held my hand, I'll go away, that's your eyes and what they're saying to me, lies and cheating all the people around me, it's a state to think I am, so just go away, just go away. Won't you just go away, just go away.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that. So, I'm gonna just go move on along here. But I hope you guys are catching these little things, like the whole, was the whole like Yiddish horror feel, and we had that in our Ain't No Sunshine, and then we took it the other Yiddish, and if you notice in the beginning of Wade in the Water, it's a different feel. It's like it goes from that waltz to a march. So this is the ways that we liked to play with the klezmer music, right? And in this one, the Kendall's Hora, and again, same thing. We deconstructed, put it into a song that's in 4. And like even the so all of these beautiful nuggets of melodies that the klezmer composers were able to put out, like, over the course of Jewish history, music history, we've got to take those and steal and then play with and throw against the wall and see what sticks. And that's kind of the vibe of what Mostly Kosher does. As you may have heard, this music was done also for Jewish weddings. And for those that really don't know much about klezmer, I mean, this music's centuries old or longer. It started a lot. I mean, there's music that's been around for hundreds of years, but it was very like a renaissance of it happened both in Eastern Europe and Russia. It was played on smaller instruments like violins and clarinets and accordions because they were easy to travel with, and the klezmorim, the klezmer players, would travel with all of this music. They usually travel from town to town, just like any gigging musicians, and waiting for the next celebration, whether it be a wedding, a baby birth, or a bar mitzvah. And then also there's a huge renaissance that happened when all of the Jewish people kind of immigrated to New York. And so New York became like a huge klezmer and Yiddish. Yiddish is the Hebrew language that's mixed with like German and Russian and Polish. And it became a renaissance there, where that last song was composed during that time, like the 20s and 30s. And then Yiddish and klezmer music was going through a revival in the 70s. And now I would call it a post-revival, where it's like in the 70s and 80s and 90s, there's klezmer bands that were bringing it back, but they were still doing it very traditionally. And in the 90s and up till now, in the last 30 years, we've been twisting the traditional music and having a lot of fun. And then, of course, putting out original stuff. So if you're listening to the words of that last song, all the lyrics were original, because that's what we wanted to do with it. And that's kind of the fun we have. So we're going to move on to the next part of our evening. And Janice, uh, will you introduce Reb Dovodol, and if you can, and maybe play a little bit for them? Beautiful. So that was what's called Reb Dovidel. It also has other names too, and there's even Yiddish words for it. But it's a very popular, common Yiddish song. Um, if you've been to one of our shows, we like to end the show with a song that takes that melody, and then instead of like deconstructing, tempos, we just like splatting some other genres on top of these melodies. So here's a genre that's also a folk genre, just like klezmer is a folk music, but it's from the Appalachian folk world. And so we're going to share with you guys a clip that's us performing one of our other pieces. And some of you guys may know it, some of you guys may not. Whoopsies, we have a dog making some noise there. There we go. And let me pull that clip up. Give me 2 more seconds here. While I'm pulling it up, Janice, I'll give you a couple seconds to
Sure. This
stall.
one of the things I love about this tune is it's become sort of the ending to our set at Disney California Adventure Park. I'm sure probably, especially in the Orange County area, there are people who are aware that that mostly kosher has been playing for what is it, the last 3-4 years now.
Hmm.
Um, we're the Jewish representation of Hanukkah during holiday times, and we feel very fortunate to have that place within such a sort of mainstream tourist setting that we actually never really thought that we would find ourselves in that space. But it's been a real gift to be able to play music for, say, Jews in the audience that may find familiarity in what we play, and then also people that find themselves listening to us that maybe it's their very first experience with Jewish culture, Yiddish culture, even some Ladino. Um, so yeah, we're really fortunate to have had that as a venue to be able to play. So this is Crawdad Bulgar that takes that Americana, as Liav mentioned, with the melody.
Here we go. Let's. I'll turn off your video and mine too, and we'll start. There's a little sample of it, and if you want, you can go and find that. We have a music video we made for that too, and you can check that out. Hey, by the way, I see that some people are putting some Q&A questions out there. If you're in the Zoom, feel free to drop more Q&A questions, and towards the end of in about 10 minutes, probably we'll get to where we can take some questions and answers. So keep them coming. But I do see them, and I want to make sure I acknowledge that. Um, so that being said, we're kind of coming a little bit to a close. Um, but and Janice, I know that we had this "world is yours" thing, but I'm wondering if we should just move along. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe we can move along to some of the other. Did you want to play some of the other clips before we do the Q&A?
Yeah, I definitely want to do this because we want to acknowledge that what we do, the whole deconstruction of klezmer and redoing it, we're not the only ones to think of it, and we have so many incredible like contemporaries and colleagues that are all over America and beyond that we thought this would be a good chance to actually introduce you, whether you're our audience or whether you're audience for the Orange County community, to these other groups if you haven't heard of them, and we thought it might be fun that obviously maybe some of you have never heard them, but if you can hear a groove in there that you'd be like, oh, that's Yiddish Hora. If you hear that Yiddish Hora groove, it might be cool if you recognize it, or you might hear this other groove that's you heard just earlier a second ago, which we didn't even explain, was the so that groove usually is a fast dance piece. This you saw it worked really well with that like fast bluegrass tune.
We could play a little bit of the Balkan clip that we have if you want.
You're right. It actually is a great way to introduce that tune because it's we've been playing a lot with Yiddish Hora so far in the workshop today, and that's really fun for us to take one genre and explore all the different ways you can use it. So that's one groove, but klezmer has more than just Hora groove. I mean, it has this Bulgar groove is what it's called. Let's all say that together. Bulgar.
Bum, 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 bum.
So I guess we should show them first a little bit of what Bulgar is, or I mean, I guess that's enough. I'll play with this a little bit longer. While I do this at home, see if you can snap on each beat or clap along. Except for you, Janice, because we'll have a little bit of a lag. But so see if you can do it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a very popular groove actually all over the world. It's always a very ethnic group. This da 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 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1. That's the grouping of it. Da boom ga boom ga. But I think what makes it Bulgar is also like it's that lead into it. The lead into those beats are very specific to this genre, which makes it it pulls you forward. It really makes it easy to dance. Because there's also the Freilach, just like this is Freilach, which you got into to life, l'chaim, 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 to life. Freilach is like also very fun to dance to, but there's just slightly different to if we went to life, to life, to chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim, to life. Sorry. You can see how it already, it like throws you, and it's cool, but it's different. So you got the Freilach, the Buchak, Buchak, Buchak. You got the Bulgar, boom, doo-doom, doo-doom, and then you got plenty of Yiddish Hora that you've been hearing. Janice, you're going to add to that. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, one of the wonderful things that I love doing with my students is combining these different feels. So if I have the kids going, and then, and it's so much fun, and it gives such a great feel. It's like, what does this dance feel like? What does this dance feel like? And it's pretty exciting. The other thing that I just wanted to also shout out before you play the Balkan clip is this is going to be another performance at the same venue as Crawdad, which is the Torrance Center for the Performing Arts. And a big shout out to that wonderful Performing Arts Center that has embraced our band, has recommended us, has really lifted us up and welcomed us into the Performing Arts Center world. So thanks to Chris Wolf over there, and we hope to play at the Torrance Performing Arts Center over there very soon.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to stop our videos and share my screen so you guys can enjoy it. Ready? And here we go.
1, 2, 3.
some match to burn away the strife. He rises proudly, kindling the light, and one by one eight candles shimmer bright. They shine with hope, determined in his eyes. They shine with hope, determined to survive. My father's eyes, they shook and bore a passion restored, never seen before. He shares the stories of truths untold, the stories we all can learn of old. He rises proudly, kindling the light, and one by one eight candles shimmer bright. They shine with hope, determined to survive. They shine with hope, determined to survive. Are you ready?
So that was, for some of your musicians and really paying close attention, it pulled into the Freilach. It had a taunt kind of feel with the, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is also used in other cultures. It's used in cumbia. You know, there's like a more like the Latin groups as well. And it's also very Romanian and Balkan, like Eastern Europe, Serbia. That feeling of doom, 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 doom. It's used in Balkan brass bands a lot. So we played with that first, and then we went into dun dun digga dun, which is a very fast Freilach, like a, you know. So we really played with like a crazy Freilach on speed or something. Not endorsing any drugs. All right, but the point is that you can see how it's fun to kind of bounce around all of these different feels. We did not have the Bulgar in there. You didn't quite hear it in that one, but you can see how all three of those feels are very fast, very fun, high energy. They're played at weddings, they're played at celebrations. They're meant to get you to move, and I hope you were moving yourself a little bit. About that song, here's an extra layer that people don't know, is that the song's melody, it's actually a lullaby. That this lullaby is called Baruch Ate, and excuse me, and the lullaby is actually really beautiful. It's about the whole lighting of the candles, whether you're like whether it's Shabbat or whether it's Hanukkah, or some kind of Jewish holiday where you light the candles, and it's about I'm lighting these candles while I'm watching my father, light these. I'm sorry, watching my father light the candles and seeing the fire reflect in his eyes, and he teaches me about how we can learn from our history and to remember our history so that we can make sure that the suffering our history has had never happens again, and the strength and the resilience from our roots we can pull to the front and to the future. So it's usually Baruch ate Kinder tate well, we went. So as you can tell, we
can't just let things be.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that's a little bit of what is kind of the fun that we have. And we've got a whole album coming up that's going to have even more of this. It's going to have originals, melodies mixed with Yiddish lyrics, or original new klezmer lines mixed with original lyrics and songs. We love taking music and and bringing it and relating it to our current events that matter to us, like you heard before in the Go Away song. As I was starting to go into it before I veered away, I was talking about other bands that we wanted to share, take a minute to just share 10 seconds or 15 seconds of these other grooves, bands. And maybe you can even play a game where, like, do you hear a Yiddish Torah groove? Do you hear maybe like more like a Tantz or a Balkan groove? Or do you hear the Bulgar? Or do you hear the Freilach? You know, and play around with what you might hear in these different bands that we're going to show you. If you know that a lot of these bands are playing a melody that is a popular klezmer song, if you're a klezmerist and you already know the klezmer tune or the Yiddish tune, I'll let you know if there was a reference, and then you can guess that too. And then also, if anyone knows the band, that would be very impressive. So if you want to play this guessing game with us, we'll play the clip first, and then you can go ahead and guess what you think you're hearing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my computer sound, because I love describing exactly what I do on Zoom to make sure I'm doing it right. Okay, there we go. And here's the first little clip. Let's see if you guys can hear a little bit of it. 3, 2, 1. There is a melody here, the reference, a famous klezmer song. Awesome. Now I'm going to try to stop it. Trying to stop it. I pressed stop on the thing. It's not working. That's because I have like 1,000 windows open. Okay. So, I wonder, one, could you tell what the groove is? Okay. Now, you could take 5 seconds, think about it if you're watching. You could write it in the comments if you're feeling brave. And then also, I'll answer the question in just a few seconds here. But the groove that what you might hear at the very beginning was doom, or this pop. So we've got a Freilach. And in that Freilach, they started getting faster and faster.
Kate is raising her hand.
Oh, I missed it. Okay. Kate, I don't know what to do with the hand raising in webinar style mode. So she put her hand down though. Maybe she was gonna. Maybe we can invite.
Tech support is coming in.
Oh yeah, you can have them talk, or you could promote to panelists. You could bring them in.
Can you
But
bring them?
yeah, although
And unmute. You can.
she
unmute
just
someone.
put her hand down. So Kate, I'm going to allow you to talk. Hi, Kate. Is she still there? She's like stepped away. She's like, I had the answer, but they don't want me anymore. So, okay, it's okay. Well,
No, I don't really know the answer, but I like the oompa thing.
there we go. Thank you, Kate.
I don't know the answer, but I was excited, and so I raised my hand.
I love it. Well, the answer is Freilach. And Freilach is the Umpap. And
It's a favorite tune of my students. I play it with the Jewish Youth Orchestra. You saw a couple of my kids playing earlier. And their favorite thing to do is speed up and get faster and faster and faster.
yeah. And
Like
Freilach,
a runaway train.
and Freilach was a style, was the name of the song. It was the same style as we had in To Vayam L'Chaim, to Life. But, okay, now the name of the song, for anyone who knows klezmer, it's called Odessa, and get this, even though it was a Freilach style, they have Odessa Bulgar as a name because they also famously will do or sorry, I can't play it in the key they were. I was trying to do and then they'll play the Bulgar style under it too, but they actually twisted it to Freilach, which is fun.
And
now,
by the way, it's not the only Odessa Bulgar. It's like when different composers all wrote, minuets. There are others.
yeah, there is like anybody who was living in Odessa could write an Odessa Freilach, an Odessa Hora, an Odessa Bulgar, and they might just like a minuet. It's a perfect example. And then final take win for the, if you can tell who the band is, the band was Jerusafunk. And they're in Arizona, in Phoenix, and you should check them out, Jerusafunk.
They're wonderful colleagues of ours, and we've toured with them, and we hope to tour with them again.
Yes. So, oops, I wrote that to all panelists, but I meant to write that to everybody. Let me try to type their name again, Jerusafunk. And that's in the Zoom for Facebook. Just go type it into Facebook, Jerusafunk.
And they have really, really super great merch, by the way.
Yeah, they do. So let's just do 2 more because we're having too much fun with this and we don't want to go too long. So let's just do. Here's one of my favorites. I want you guys to know about them if you don't know about them. And they're not in America, this band, but they are in the Northern Hemisphere, as well as they are also in the North America. Okay, so here we go. Let's hold on. I'm just gonna. There we go. 3, 2. Wait. Am my computer sound still shared? Yes. Good. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit so we can get into the groove of it. As you can tell, it is funky. It is fun. So that genre is almost their own genre a little bit. Dun 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 dun. But it kind of feels a little bit like a Bulgar. I'm like, Janice, what do you think, Janice?
Yeah, it's pretty funky. I mean, I think that this is definitely a group that's also had like a huge influence on, the feel, taking in a folk genre and really putting a funky groove to it.
Electric guitar in there, so changing up instruments.
Yeah, exactly.
So the groove, the answer there is it's its own fusion groove, really, but it has that feeling of a Bulgar. The name of the band, or the name of the song is an original of the band, so we didn't plan that you guys can guess the name, but it's called Klezmer Roll is the name of the song, and the name of the band is Klezmer Sun. And I'm going to put that in here. Klezmer Sun is a really cool band, and they're from Mexico City. There's a lot of cool klezmer in both Mexico, and there's a lot of cool klezmer in like Argentina and South America, even in Brazil. So klezmer is kind of all over the place, more than we even know. And they're doing kick butt stuff with it, like as you just heard. It's really fun. So let's have one last one before we close up here. So here's a band that is also really doing some cool cross-genre stuff that I want you guys to hear. Here it comes. I might have to skip ahead a little bit.
Steht der Bucher und tracht und tracht a ganze Nacht. Wem zu nehmen und nicht verschämen, wem zu nehmen soll sein.
Now, what I like about this band is that
Wie gefrierlich soll
that
sein.
a little bit. I didn't
Becken
but the vibe could be really related to the one that feels in 3, the genre, the groove. Yeah. So who remembers the name of the groove that we said earlier that's in 3, the one that we were playing with a lot in the beginning? First prize, first person to answer will get a Mostly Kosher t-shirt sometime in 2021. I'm just kidding. But either way, the answer is, or watch someone on Facebook's probably like, me, come on, how come nobody's? I'm just kidding. So the answer is it's a Yiddish. It's kind of like the Yiddish horror groove, azak, which is like that 3, badum, tumbala, 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 that crooked dance, right? And Tumbala Laika is the name of the song. The name of the band, one of my favorite bands that's literally punk klezmer. They're called Golem, and they're in Brooklyn. The name of the band is Golem, and I'll write it here for you guys. They're kick butt. They're really high energy, and they're crazy, and we love them. And so you should check them out too. So those are some of our band shout outs for you guys, which is going to bring us, I guess, to a close. So Janice, will you help us close up, and then we can do a Q&A?
Sure. One of the other two things that I just wanted to mention, besides the fact that we have some recording going on, is also we are about to reopen our merch store, speaking of merch, and we'll have some fun stuff in there, some tumblers and some new t-shirts and old t-shirts and some messenger bags. So anyway, we will keep you posted on some fun merch coming up, and shout out to our wonderful drummer Eric Hagstrom, who's been helping us, and we just feel very fortunate with all of our wonderful band members.
Did you mention the $5,000 neon signs? That's
you mean $500,000? Michael Fleckner, who is a very famous neon sign artist. Michael, if you're out there, I don't know if you guys have seen the Celebrate stamps that have a neon. It looks like Celebrate with neon letters. He created that, and he custom made this neon sign for us, and we feel just very grateful to have this. It was featured at Western Arts Alliance. That was the debut of this sign when we showcased, and that looks beautiful, Liev. Yes, we really need to start a deli now. We need to have a deli. So it looks beautiful. I said we need a deli now that you just put that up.
So yeah, that's going for how much money each one?
It's priceless. That's priceless.
Although seriously, if you gave us $5,000, we'll get you one made. I promise you.
Okay, fine. $5,000, sure.
That being said, check out if you're not following us already, go on our Facebook, follow us there. Go on Instagram, you can follow us there. And our website, mostlykusher.com. We have a newsletter that goes out periodically, very, very seldomly. Does not bother you very much. And then stick with us, especially through COVID. As we've heard, this is a family show we're working on, the album that we're working on. All of this stuff is really exciting for us, but we need you guys to keep supporting us just by being there. And for those that have never met us until today, it's nice to meet you. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. So now we get to officially say that's the end of the presentation, other than we can take some questions now. And so if you would like, you can type them into the chat, or there's a Q&A section that you in Zoom you can do, or if you're on Facebook, you can actually comment in on the Facebook, and I will go keep my eyes there as well if I can.
I'm seeing some questions already here.
All right.
Do you want me to just sort of shout some out here?
Yeah, go ahead.
AP Cats, is that Ari? Are traditionalists supportive of your creativity, or do you get criticism? Also, who is your main audience? Those are two really exceptional questions. So I know Liev will definitely have stuff to say about this. One thing that was really interesting in sort of our evolution and growth, which of course we're still in the middle of. Liav and I went in 2014 to Kles, Canada, in the Laurentian Mountains. It's so gorgeous, and we were total newbies. I think Liav had been playing the accordion for like 2 minutes when we got there, right? Do you remember that?
I mean, maybe 30 seconds.
We had such an amazing time, and we were being mentored by members of the Klezmatics and luminaries from all over the globe, as well as people that were just starting to play the genre, people that had been playing classical music for years that were just starting to play klezmer. So it was just a really unique environment. It's still going on this year. They're going to be online because of our current situation. But one of the interesting things being there, to sort of answer your question, is that we were sort of learning the language of what does people consider klezmer music. There are certain purists who consider klezmer music just to be an instrumental group, no vocals, and only the very traditional instruments that you would hear in klezmer music, such as clarinet, violin, the instruments you would imagine would be in those types of groups. I think it's been an interesting evolution for us as we've moved into these cross genres. I think that one of the things that's been wonderful is we've been able to bring in actually new audiences. People who might not tune in right away to traditional klezmer music per se, or even more of a Yiddish folk song, but they hear a beat and they hear something that connects them to a groove that has some sort of familiarity. So that's been really wonderful. And I've actually been really delightfully surprised at the number of traditionalists that have embraced what we've done. And I think one of the reasons, Liav, you tell me what you think, but I think one of the reasons that that's been so is they see that we want to embrace this music and carry it on our backs and on our shoulders, and take folk music into modern day in how we interpret it. So that folk music isn't something in the past. Folk music is something that's being constantly created. And that's one of the reasons why we want to create original songs. We want to create new Jewish cultural music that's truly our own. And that's one of the things that is exciting. But we also, last comment on this, is that, sorry, Liav, I just want to say that this actually feeds right into our family show, this idea of old and new. So what do you think, Liav?
Yeah, Roots and Wings is our theme of our family show, and it's important to us. I mean, I think artists struggle with this all the time. There's nothing new under the sun, as they say in the artist world. But also, there's also this feeling of like needing to create something new, and that struggle for, new purpose and finding your voice. And that's a lot of the theme of what goes on in the struggle between, generations, and that's reflected in the show. And, I think that's, it's such a human theme to just kind of like be pulled between your past and your future. And where it leaves you in the present. And I think we're dealing with that as a nation and as a globe, as a earth, as a world. And I think we're dealing with it, especially here close to home in Los Angeles area, with the protest movement and the constant fighting for changing for something better and something new, and but while somehow still respecting what's been and not leaving the important things behind. So, but knowing, that's like the world we live in.
There was also the question, his secondary question is, who is your main audience?
Main audience is you. It's everyone. I think that, like, obviously there's lots of people who are either just the fact that they're Jewish or connected to a Jewish culture. They see the name Mostly Kosher and they're like, oh, I know this. Or even if they don't know us. It's nice because then you can go to a new city and you can already have an audience without them even really knowing who you are, just because we want to support each other. But I think that also, what we, as you heard from Janice, really want to do is lay the drawbridge down, and welcome a lot of people in. It's one of the reasons why we're proud of the work we do at the Disneyland parks. because there's a lot of people who are not Jewish, who are maybe even getting their very first impression of Jewish culture from us. And we don't want them to feel like, oh, this is something else for other people, but we want them to feel so enthralled with what's going on that they drink a l'chaim with us, go home and be dancing the hora in their living rooms for years to come, because it doesn't belong just to us. This culture should be shared with as many people as possible. And I say this all the time. I say, you know, even in the world music listeners, if they're people that like listening to eclectic music, klezmer still is not, it's not per se a religious music. It's, as you heard, it's celebratory music. It's music that's much more cultural, and it's about the love stories and the celebrations and the sadness. And so we feel like it should be right there up with the rest of the world music genres, like, you know, Latin music, like African music, you know, drumming, and or even taiko drumming from Japan is more well known than klezmer. And why? So we're on a mission to change that. It's not just to promote klezmer music to Jews who already might know it, but to promote it to the world who doesn't yet recognize it as a main world music genre. And so, you know, that's a little bit of our hope and our dreams.
And I love the fact that klezmer music is such a global music. The fact that because Jews live everywhere and multiple diasporas, and then it takes in the music and the people take in whatever the culture and music is wherever they land, wherever they're living. So, you know, the Jews of Berlin, or the klezmer musicians, whether they're Jewish or not, of Berlin, of Brazil, of Japan, wherever they are, it's going to have an influence on the music. So it's really a wonderful thing.
Yeah. So we have some people who left some comments, and thank you for your comments. We're going to enjoy them, and we'll go back and we'll read all the comments on Facebook afterwards, and we'll see if we can help type in some answers. But I guess we should close up soon, unless there's any more questions that come through. And if not, I will say, you know, stay with us, stick around in the journey of Mostly Kosher as we move through this summer. We'll be working on some music soon, and we also, you know, just because you were here, don't feel like this is the end of you connecting with us. Shoot us a message if you have questions about the music, about our music, and share this with your friends who don't know the music, and maybe they want to introduce them to it a little bit. And yeah, I guess that's the end of my closing thoughts. What about you, Janice?
Yeah, I'm going to second that. Thank you so much to our hosts for having us, and thank you for inviting us into your homes. And we can't wait to play for you all live once again, and hope you're all staying safe and well.
Awesome. Alrighty. Take care, everybody.
Shalom Dank.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to end the webinar, so it's going to kick everybody out. We're no longer live, but for people that came to the webinar, an extra thank you for being here. Norm, Sheldon, Michael, Lindy, Kate, Mom, hi Judy, Joan, Howard, Harris. Who's Gideon? I don't know that guy.
Get him out.
Oh, Donna, hey, Bertel, Brian, Aaron, Roz, Sheldon, Norm. If I didn't say, I don't know whose names I missed, but there's an email here, the Halperts maybe. Thank you guys for coming, and if a lot of you are Congregation B'nai Israel, thank you for having us. We'll hope to see you soon. Okay, now I'm going to end the webinar. Bye, guys.